Guys, it's Angela here, and today I'm going to be presenting my literacy model for you guys. And I wanted to do it in like a PowerPoint and face-to-face version so that you can kind of see both my perspective and also kind of my input. So I hope you guys enjoyed this and you learned something new. So for my literacy model, I wanted to focus on preschool-aged children, and the reason being is because I'm currently a preschool teacher, and in my future work, I want to be a preschool director. And for this model, I focused on ages 2.5 to 4 years of age, a working class family type of service, but I'm also open to helping all kinds of families, but I just wanted to make it kind of specific for this assignment. I also want to make my school family centered and Waldorf inspired. I wanted the environment to be really bright, inviting, inclusive, and a lot of like natural materials. Okay, so before I jump too far ahead of myself, I wanted to make note that I might be looking to my side a little bit, and that's because I have my laptop. I want to make sure I keep my thoughts and ideas organized and stay on track. But for the first thing I'm going to be talking about is my philosophy, and I included 3 things in my philosophy. The first being using a wide variety of literacy materials, so not only books, but also using like flannel board stories, books on CD, singing songs, reading and reciting poems and rhymes, playing word games, just trying to engage as many children as possible in those areas. The second thing was play-based learning and academic-based learning. I really love play-based learning. I think that children obviously learn so much from one another, and there's so many great experiences that can happen during those playtimes. But I also wanted to include academic-based learning because I think that being a little bit more structured as the teacher and having the kids sit down for small groups, I think that's also really important as well. And the third was culturally responsive, and what I mean by this is being a culturally responsive teacher as well as your environment. And I included a picture with like 8 competencies that I thought were pretty relatable for me at least, and I think that they can really help you become a culturally responsive teacher. So for school personnel, this was kind of tricky for me because in preschool there is not a lot of, or there's not as many resources as, K through 12 school systems get. So one of the ideas that I had was having guest speakers come into the classroom, whether that's from the community or from the child's family, to come in and talk to the class. I think that would be great because in preschool there's usually like 2 or 3 teachers and an aide, and they're not going to have all the experience in the world, and I think that children learn like really great from like different people, especially people like a police officer or like having a nurse come in and talk about. I think that would be really like more memorable versus like just the teacher talking about it. The second thing was taking trips to the local library and having kind of a partnership with them, in that children could, with the preschool class, they could walk down to the library and check out a book or so and just have that experience. The third and, last kind of thought I had was following some sort of program or guideline. So the 2 things were the NAEYC accreditation performance criteria and the ECHRS environment rating scale. And I thought those would be very valuable because both kind of aim to improve the child's experiences in school, and both really want to help making sure that the environment and the child is supported. Curriculum, I thought that it would be a great idea to have literacy integrated through each activity or part of the day. What I mean by this is like during small group and arts and large group, just making sure that you have some sort of literacy activity or including it in. I think that with this class I've learned like really how important it is to have a great literacy environment and making sure that you're supporting children this early on. And I think that could be really easily done by including it through different activities and parts of the day. The second thing was making sure that I, have cultural inclusivity in that I know my students and I know their community. I want to make sure I know that their traditions and their cultures are respected and also shown throughout the curriculum. And then the last thing was, as I mentioned before, academic and play-based. I just really think that children have a good balance of both would be super beneficial, and playing with each other and also like having that teacher interaction is really great too. For instructional approaches, I put multicultural versus intercultural. Multicultural is where the teacher teaches different cultures versus intercultural, where the teacher, their students, their families, and community can also input and learn from one another in order to make that, experience and that teaching opportunity even better. The next thing was modeling. I do this on a daily basis with my preschoolers. I want to model good behavior. I also want to model, oh, let's read a book. Let's do something like that versus, I don't know. That was just my thought, like modeling nice behaviors as well as modeling like the need to want to read, and reading is fun and writing is fun, coloring, let's do something like literacy involved. The third thing was demonstration. I just thought of this as like demonstrating with children like how to write. Like I'll show you how to write it. Like, we do a lot of like hand over hand work at my school, and we try to, do little fun activities where we draw an A into an alligator, teaching them how to draw an A but making it a little bit more fun, like just doing those types of demonstrations. And then free play, I've mentioned this a few times now. I think that is also a good approach in teaching. Just putting out materials and letting kids explore. Sometimes as teachers, we have this expectation like things are going to go a certain way. You put up this really cool activity and you want them to do these like A, B, C, D things, and they take it to a whole different level. They change the activity, and sometimes that can be frustrating as a teacher, but I think it's more valuable that they're using it in a different way, and I think that's also really great. With ongoing assessment in preschool, it's really a lot of portfolios and observations, just like we've done in this class. An observation, you'll watch a child for a certain amount of time, document their behaviors, what they're doing, how they're doing it, and portfolios kind of like building their work together and seeing how it's changed from beginning to the end of the year. And in K through 12 systems, they do like standardized testing and those types of things, but in preschool, we really want to focus on like what they're doing, how they're doing it. If we need to intervene with something, it's not really, like a test that they're gonna take or anything. And I think it's important to have, cultural considerations when you're doing assessments with children, because not all children are gonna, not all children learn the same way, and not all children think the same way. And every child is different, and I think it's important to really reflect on their culture and how that influences their learning processes. For a literacy-rich environment, I thought of a few different things. So the first being a writing center. And a writing center is traditionally like a pencil and like a paper and markers and crayons and whatever, but you don't always have to do it like that. I've done writing centers where I include like trays of sand and like letter flashcards. I do Play-Doh with like little Play-Doh mats that you can form Play-Doh into letters. Like you can do a whole bunch of different things, and I really like the idea. The second thing was inviting reading areas with different books and different like reading materials. And what I meant by this was you really don't want to just like take a book and sit in a chair at a desk. That's not the most comfortable situation. It's also, I don't know, I just feel like that would not be a very good setup. So having like a really nice, cozy like environment, like really nice space for you to like take your book around. My preschoolers have really enjoyed bringing a book outside. I think it's like the nice sunny weather they like. So I've been allowing them, I've been like, take a book outside, come on, we'll read it. It's been really good for them. The next thing is sensory bins. A lot of you probably know what sensory bins are. It's just like having that bin full of materials that the kids can kind of like manipulate and play with. But you can definitely include really great literacy experiences in that. as one of the pictures shows, like a rock hunt in leaves. So this would be really great in the fall actually, but you would, put letters on rocks and the kids would have to find them and, maybe match the letter up together. You can do, alphabet soup, those types of things. I think those would be fun in a sensory bin. I put labeling everything in the environment, and I mean everything. Like having that dramatic play area, if it's a kitchen, having the pots and pans labeled, like pots and pans, this is where they go, this is what they look like. I think that's a really great opportunity for literacy, and seeing those, those words with the picture really helps children. Also with labeling their snack card, their cubby where they put their stuff, all that. Two resources that I included in my presentation were the Teaching Tolerance website, and if you guys aren't familiar with that, they have really great lesson plans and activities and resources for teachers that you really can't find anywhere else. And I like how they have different grade options. Although they don't have preschool, you definitely can adjust some of the lesson plans in order to fit your the children that you're working with. They also have different subjects and all that great stuff, and I think that was a really nice resource. The second one was the Multicultural Kids website. This is kind of like a shopping website, and I definitely like to shop. Some things are quite expensive on this page, but you can definitely just get ideas from it. They have a lot of, great books that you can actually buy, music, costume ideas, dramatic play ideas. Like, I like to make some of the stuff in my dramatic play areas, or I like to make little finger puppets and stuff, and I definitely draw inspiration from this website, and I think it'd be great for, educators to really get an idea of what else they can include in their environment. Their environment doesn't have to just be, a kitchen. It could be I don't know, a Mexican restaurant. It could be, just a whole bunch of different things. Like just expanding on what you have, adding to it, I don't know, getting great ideas. But I think that's all for my presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know, like I said in the beginning, it's kind of weird doing this format, but I mean, this is the best I can do, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. So thank you for watching. Bye!